One got knocked down, he won't get up again. The other went and knocked him down. One got knocked down, and now he's fucking dead. The other went and knocked him out. Combo breaker!
Giant monsters are kick-ass. I mean, like today's combatants are the two kings of monster movies. They've only ever met up one time, but it's time to see which one of them is the true king of monsters. That's right, today we have a matchup between King Kong, the protector of Skull Island, and Godzilla, king of monsters. Quick FYI kind of note thing before we get started, I'm using the legendary reboot versions of these two monsters. King Kong. You know, he's always been one of my favorite monsters of all time, to be totally honest. And I loved Skull Island so much. There's that totally bitchin' action scene. The scenes were just awesome, but that scene where he grabs the boat motors with the chains on, it's like a freaking giant monkey version of Kratos. But you know what? Let's just get right into this guy's powers. So he actually ages slower than other creatures, and he actually has a minor healing factor, which is useful for a lot of things. So Kong is easily able to shatter helicopters with a single hit. He can easily overpower the Meyer Squid, and he threw around a Ramarax like freaking a ragdoll. Threw him up to 100 meters. Now, King Kong's also stupidly quick, as he's quick enough to grab helicopters from the sky and throw them around. He's able to endure gunshots and explosions, and even survive fights with skull crawlers and the Ramarak. And, you know, he's pretty smart too. He can easily trick his foes and use the environment as a weapon, as we've seen him pull chains and whatnot off boats to attack its enemies with. But Kong is not perfect. He is young and his skin is very weak and can be cut rather easily by sharp objects, hence things like the skull crawlers were able to bite into him so easily. Oh boy, Godzilla, the king of the monsters. And you know what? I've got, honestly, the most unpopular opinion possible. I hated his reboot movie. Yep, I hated it. Every time he was on screen about to do something badass, like fight a monster or roar, something happened and it cut to the human plot. I went to go see Godzilla to watch Godzilla kill things, not cut to the human plot. I don't even care. Whatever, let's just get into this guy's powers. And he's got some pretty badass powers. He can regenerate, and he has immunity to aging. He also has his iconic atomic breath, which is basically like a laser beam of atomic radiation. Basically, if you've got a pesky foe, he can melt them with radiation. Now, Godzilla's stupid strong, as he can pretty much throw around anything, like he can destroy buildings, throw on Mutos, and even kill the Shinomura. Not only that, but Godzilla's quick enough to attack large monsters like Mutos with ease, and he can swing his tail at the speed of sound. He's survived the extinction meteor and vicious attacks from Mutos and Shinomuras, but he's not very smart. See, he relies mostly on instinct in a match, and really kind of just has a little bit of a hunter's thing going on, but he's not exactly the smartest. And he does have a few weaknesses. His gills are incredibly vulnerable to damage, as they're softer than the rest of his body. But other than that, the rest of his skin is incredibly hard and very hard to hurt with blunt force alone. Godzilla rises from the water and steps out of Skull Island with a powerful roar. King Kong looks over at him and roars as he beats his chest. King Kong runs over at Godzilla at full speed and punches him across the face. Godzilla then tail whips King Kong, launching him into a mountain. Godzilla then steps into the area as King Kong jumps on his back and shoves his hand into his gills. King Kong spins and throws Godzilla by his gills. Godzilla is slammed into a mountain as King Kong throws a large rock at him and then picks up some chains and rudders from a boat. Godzilla stands back up after the impact of the rock, and Kong whips his chains at Godzilla, knocking him back several times. He then runs over and drop kicks him. Godzilla then walks over to Kong as he stands back up and bites his neck. King Kong starts slamming his fist down on Godzilla, breaking a few of his bones. King Kong then knees Godzilla, causing him to let go, and then he grabs him by the neck and starts choking him. Godzilla then bites down on his arms, ripping out a chunk of his flesh. Godzilla then launches his atomic breath, burning off one of Kong's arms. King Kong drops to the ground as Godzilla walks over, takes his claws, pries open King Kong's mouth, and breathes his atomic breath straight down there, melting his intestines and destroying his body. Oh boy, our winner is Godzilla. He truly earns the title of King of Monsters. Let's just start this part off. Godzilla stands at 108 meters tall, compared to King Kong, who stands at 31 meters tall. So right now, he already dwarfs him. Now let's go into, let's not even cover stats yet. Let's go into other things. King Kong is a purely fist fighter with his fists and occasionally some rocks and chains. But he will be using melee attacks most of the time with nothing but his pure fist. Godzilla has incredibly tough skin, and brute force isn't going to do much against him. His only weak spot would be the gills, and King Kong's not necessarily going to know to go for that immediately. Now, if we look at someone like King Kong, who we see his flesh get cut open by helicopter blades and monster bites from weaker monsters than Godzilla, well, if we look at the fact that that can hurt him, imagine Godzilla's claws, teeth, and spikes just rip him apart. He's truly screwed. Now, let's move into stats. King Kong is smarter. Let's get that right out of the way. He knows how to use his environment to his advantage, and he's altogether smarter. Not by too much, but he is smarter. Now, Godzilla dwarfs him in stats, though. He's easily city level thanks to scaling to Mutos, if not higher, and he's supersonic thanks to his speed of sound tail swipes. Now, King Kong is subsonic, which isn't that far behind his speed, but he's only really about multi-city block level, and that's only thanks to the size of the monsters he throws around. So Godzilla dwarfs him in all categories. He's got the range advantage with his atomic breath that can pretty much just one-shot King Kong, and he dwarfs him in size too. I mean, really, Godzilla earns the title of King of Monsters. Our winner is Godzilla. Next time on Combo Breaker. You know, there's something really, really charming about that old school animation style. You know what I'm talking about? Steamboat Mickey, the original Looney Tunes. There's just something really charming about the animation style. So of course, our next combatants have kind of copied that style, but taken it to an extreme. These two are masters of cartoon logic fighting. That's right, next time we have a match between Peacock and Cuphead. First of all, let me thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this to any friends you know who like versus debates. And, tell me what you think of the next match. Give me your predictions, maybe suggest matches in the comments, and they might happen.